just keep this in the back of your mind. Don't worry about it. We're going to go over something different. So let's go over the basic triangle. So let me borrow you a quick harness. From here, we're not going to get too into the setups today. There's a debate: should I teach a setup first? Should I finish the setup? Should I teach the finishing mechanics first? Flip of the coin. I'm teaching the finishing mechanics first. Okay. From here, super basic. I'm going to control both of his wrists. You can grab the sleeves. I like to make a direct connection with my opponent. From here, you're going to make a decision. One arm's going to pull, one arm's going to push. In this case, I'm going to pull with my left arm and push with my right arm. The side that you're pulling, in this case my left side, that foot is going to go in the hip here. Okay. Now, I'm going to, like I said before, pull with my left arm, push with my right arm. As his arm that I'm pushing clears my hip line, see that foot, left foot in his hip? I use it to elevate my hips as high as possible. Not just a little bit, as high as possible. Now when I drop my hips, I make my calf go across his neck and I get the catch across my ankles here. Okay. I need to keep his posture broken. Okay. So squeeze your knees and bring your knees into your chest here. He should not be able to sit back up from here. If he does, there's other things we can do. His arm's in an okay position now, but if it wasn't, I would grab his wrist, lift my hips up, and get it across my body. Here. Everybody with me so far? Go. My right leg is the one that's around his neck. So I'm going to take my left arm on the inside of my left leg and grab my right shin. It's basically becoming a replacement for my left leg because I'm going to let go of my left leg and put it on his hip or on the floor. From here, I'm going to use that left foot as an engine to just turn myself as far 90 degrees as I can as I bring my shin further perpendicular to his neck. When I can't get any further, and again, notice how I'm flat on my back. I'm not tilting here. Flat on my back. From here, I'm going to lock the legs back up, but now this time, my right ankle goes behind my left knee here. In order to finish the choke, I'm going to stomp my left foot on the ground as I pull his head in towards my stomach, and I bring my upper body up, like I'm doing an ab exercise, okay? So, stomp the left foot to the ground as I pull his head in, and I do an ab crunch coming up, okay? I cannot stress enough, you have to get as far 90 degrees as you can, just like you would on an arm bar. Okay? Sorry, Ernest, let me work again. Alright, again, I'm pulling with the left, pushing with the right. So, my left foot goes in his hip. Pull with the left, push with his right. As soon as his arm clears my hip line, I shoot up to the sky and I bring his posture down, cross my ankles, squeeze my knees. Because he's going to be fighting out of here for sure. Okay? If his arm's not in the right position, I'm going to lift my hips, get it into the right position. Okay? From here, I'm going to make the switch. My left hand comes up, grabs my right ankle. Again, don't grab it here. If you hear me yell, grab on the inside of your knee. That means, again, on the inside of your left leg here. Okay? Let go of my left foot and put it on the floor or on the hip, whatever's easier. Turn yourself as far 90 degrees as you can. Again, next week we're going to go over some more tricks to help you get further 90 degrees, but for now I don't want to complicate it. So using my left foot, I'm going to sit up to reduce the surface area on the mat. Rotate, rotate, rotate until I physically can't get any further 90 degrees. Now, when I lock it back up, my right ankle goes behind my left knee. I stomp my left foot to the ground, I then crunch up and pull his head down for the finish. Any questions? Go, on three. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back, guys. We're running the triangle. So for these drills, I started them in the triangle. Their opponent has high posture, so they're not broken down yet. I caught this one a little bit late. Eric has the triangle. Kirk is in the triangle. He looks like his posture is a little bit, his lower body posture is a little bit broken. He might have gone to a defense. So again, I started recording late on this round. Let's see how it unfolds. Eric doing a good job grabbing the head, trying to break the posture down. Okay, he lets go. It looks like he's kind of going for like the Kimora, like hip bump sweep here. If Kirk can keep his arm, if Kirk can get back to his knee here, the sweep will be gone. The reason this sweep might work is because Kirk's left hand is trapped right now. Let's see if Eric capitalizes. Oh, goes to a sweep. Okay, doesn't quite get it. I would like to see him bring this arm over on the other side of Kirk's head here, just like he would a Kimura sweep. Right now, Kirk can kind of frame on his hand here. Also, it looks like he's getting his arm out here. So if I could correct two things, it'd be get Eric's left arm to the other side of Kirk's head, just like a Kimora sweep, and keep the knees pinched really tight so your opponent can't take the arm out. Yep, Kirk's left arm stops the post, and he manages to maintain top position. Okay, we got Nas on top here. Ernest on the bottom has the triangle. Let's see where they go from here. They start. Okay. Honestly, if Nas had a little bit more knowledge, he would escape right through this gap here. Anytime you're in the triangle, let me wind it back a little bit so I can show you what I mean. So here, right here. Anytime there's a gap, you need to seal this gap right here, either by having your legs crossed together or your, in this case, Ernest's left hand grabbing that ankle. That circuit has to be closed. Right now, there's not much stopping Nas from literally just posturing up. Again, Nas is a white belt. Oh, sorry about that. Nas is a white belt, so he probably doesn't know, but he should be posturing up the entire time, and if he was, he'd be escaped by now. So just keep that in mind. Keep that, for lack of a better word, keep that circuit closed. Nas probably can escape here. It looks like head's going to come out. Ernest looked like he was trying to transition to an armbar, but that's a hard transition from there. All right, we got two blue belts this time. We got Eric in the triangle. Jim looks like he has the triangle. Let's see where it goes. Jim doing a good job keeping the posture broken. Okay, getting a good angle. Eric's starting to come up now. I don't like that. I think I know what kind of escape he was going for, but he ended up just letting Jim mount him. Didn't get the triangle, but he did end up in side control. So let's go back and look at that real quick. Eric postures up, not bad. And then from here, he just kind of sits back and he lets Jim roll on top of him. Yeah, the only advice I have for that is don't do that. Okay, we got Nas on the bottom here. He's got the triangle. Ernest is in pretty deep right now. Let's see how it plays out. Nas doing a good job controlling that posture. Ernest trying to turn an angle. Oh, okay. I got a lot of questions about this from white belts. Which ankle should be on top? In my opinion, so if Nas's right leg is the one around the neck, then his left ankle should be on top here. The reason being, that's the one that's going to keep the circuit closed. If Nas's right ankle is over the left ankle, it's not really helping keep Ernest inside of his legs. As opposed to if he goes the other way, it will help keep your opponent in between your legs. Right now, Nas doesn't have any legs crossed. Ernest could very easily just kind of posture up out of it as long as he beats this hand here, which again, easier said than done. Okay, gets his arm out and escapes. Yeah, keep your opponent's posture broken. Knees tight too. I don't think Nas is pinching his knees right now. And again, he's got his ankles crossed. I don't want to say in the wrong direction. In my opinion, this is more exhausting. And feel free to experiment with yourselves. I like to have the, lack of a better word, open leg over the closed leg. Again, or the one that's underneath the armpit over the one that's around the neck. Okay, Nas turns the angle. He's got to fix his arm. Look, you're not going to choke anyone, or it's going to be hard to choke anyone if their arm is not in position. So this leg might be really tight against Ernest's neck, but there's nothing cutting off his other artery. I don't think he'll get it from here. Watch me be wrong. Okay, now he's fixing the arm. He doesn't quite have it because of his leg position. Okay, now he might have it. I can't quite see his legs from here. It doesn't look like his right leg is perpendicular to Ernest's neck, though. That's what's going to get the squeezing action. Yeah, you can see here his legs are completely straight. And he escapes. So let's go back. Okay, we got a problem here. Roughly speaking, this is Ernest's spine. Now look at Nas's leg here. No good. Look at all this space. Nas's leg has to be perpendicular to Ernest's spine. So if Ernest's spine is going like this, Nas's leg, his neck is right here. Nas's right shin has to be going perpendicular. Make a 90-degree arc to Ernest's neck. Also, Ernest is a little, you can see on his shoulders probably, and definitely his hips, they're a little bit tilted off the ground. You got to be flat to the ground on this one. So again, you should be able to rotate, but you should not be tilting. Keep those in mind. All right, we got Jim on the bottom again, and it looks like Eric is in deep on a triangle here. Jim trying to fish for that arm. He's got to get that arm across first and control his body. Oh, Eric's making a turn. I would say he's probably going to escape from here. Yep. So Jim lost the posture there around the middle. So anytime your opponent starts to stack up and get heavy on you like that, you should be, again, his hips are way off the ground. His hips need to be on the ground. So I would suggest anytime your opponent starts to stack is to shoulder walk back. Another thing is you could see Eric start to come around on the angle this way. Until you're ready to turn 90 degrees, your opponent should be in front of you. Once everything's not locked up, but once you're ready to move, you determine when the turn takes place, not your opponent. Another thing, you got to keep your opponent's posture broken. Look, Eric is on his feet. He's in a very athletic position right now. It's going to be very hard to finish a triangle on a big guy, let alone a small guy, let alone a big guy like Eric. So again, looking at this picture right now, a couple things I would fix. Jim has to keep his back and his hips flat on the mat, and a way to do that is, as we said before, shoulder walk back and make sure your opponent stays in front of you until you're ready to turn 90 degrees. Jim on the bottom, Eric on top again. Looks like they're running it back. Gets the arm across, good. Okay, he's getting stacked again. He might want to shoulder walk back. I think I tell him as much. And Eric, okay, let's go back. As soon as Eric stands up, you see Jim's hips come off the ground. Boom, and now Eric's turning, and now Jim has lost this position. It's going to be really hard to finish an armbar or a triangle from here because his opponent is so far past 90 degrees and not in a good way. If you don't have the triangle locked up and your opponent starts turning 90 degrees, they're going to pass. Like that. So again, if I can make a suggestion, Jim has to shoulder walk back anytime his opponent starts to stand up and tries to start stacking into him. So right about here, Jim should be shoulder walking back this way, keeping Eric in front of him and keeping Eric from like stacking him. Because if if your opponent stacks you, you can't, or it's hard to turn with them. We're going to see that right now. Right? He can't turn with him and he gets passed. All right, we got Bob on the bottom here and Jim on top. I'll tell you this right now. It looks like Jim's got relatively good posture. They're almost head to head, meaning his pressure is going straight down into Bob. Before, I probably started recording this late, but what Bob should have done before is to shoulder walk back. He might still be able to finish it. He looks like he's pretty deep in the triangle, but if Jim can start turning here, he might be able to escape. Bob's got it. Okay, he locked it up pretty well. From here, and this is something I didn't show the beginners because I just didn't want to throw too much information at him. Once he fixes that arm, his right arm should dive under Jim's left leg and use that to pull himself 90 degrees. I don't think I showed the beginners that. Fixes the arm, tightens up the triangle. He'll probably get it from here. And gets it. Very nice. So now we're back to Jim on the bottom and Bob on top. So now we're back to Jim on the bottom and Bob on top. Looks like they're starting in a triangle. Bob starts to stack. Okay, again, we've got problems with posture already, right? Bob's head is directly on top of Jim's. Jim should be shoulder walking back this way, preventing that. He's a little bit late now, but should be preventing that. Okay, now it's okay. Now we've got a little bit of breathing room. Bob's head is over here. Jim's head is over here. So he's no longer stacking directly on top of Jim. Jim did a good job of putting the foot on the hip and fixing his posture relative to Bob so he could get a little bit of a pressure release. And also, Bob's spine is like this right now. Jim's spine is like this. Not quite 90 degrees, but we're getting there. Better than nothing. Better than nothing. Continue on. Bob's starting to go back neutral. He doesn't quite have the triangle. It's not behind the knee yet. Okay, makes another adjustment. Okay, and gets a tap. Pretty good. Pretty good adjustments. There are tactics to do that you can use when you don't quite have the ankle securely tucked behind the knee here, right? He's got this much more distance to travel. We go over that next week. So if you see my guys making kind of beginner mistakes of, oh, what happens if you don't get the perfect triangle position, the Lachlan Giles system. I don't know. I don't think he invented it, but it's the one he uses. Completely changed my triangle game. I've been messing around with it recently. I introduced that to the guys next week, but for now, I did tell them to finish it traditionally and get it behind the knee pit here. Daz on the bottom here and Ernest on top here, starting in the triangle. Looks like I'm saying something. Okay, I say go. Okay, that was pretty good. I would have kept the ankle there. So now he's got to fix his posture again. Again, he's letting Ernest get up too high. Yeah, that was nothing. Oh, you got a good sweep out of it. And Ernest going for a heel hook in the gi. I think I tell him that would have been an automatic disqualification. He's confused as to why. Myself included, but those are the rules. I don't make them up. So let's look at that again. Okay, here, if I were Nas, I would have kept that ankle. I would have put this foot in Ernest's hip, and I would have continued to turn 90 degrees here. In a second, you'll see Ernest stand up and get that nice stacking position. Yeah, now Nas is going to have a hard time finishing that triangle. However, he does turn into a nice pendulum sweep. So we have indirect control here where Ernest's arm is busy occupying Nas's arm. Nas got a nice underhook under Ernest's right leg. He's going to turn. Oh, okay. So he actually uses the opposite arm, almost like he's going for an omoplata here. I didn't see that. Still manages to get the sweep and automatic disqualification right there. We got a very clear knee reap right here. He's going for a heel hook on the other side. Again, I don't make up the rules. I don't necessarily agree with them, but these guys are interested in competing, so I got to let them know what the rules are. Nas on the bottom, Ernest on top here. This is probably in a sparring round. I start him in the triangle. Okay. If your opponent gets to their feet, they're probably going to stack you, unless they're trying to go all the way up and break out of your triangle by head to the sky. Either way, you have to control your opponent's posture. You have to control your opponent's posture, and you have to make sure that you're not head-to-head, so you get stuck underneath them. Okay, and from here, Nas, I would argue, is grabbing the wrong leg. It looks like he's going for that omoplata sweep again. Let's see if it works out. I would have kept the triangle. It looks like Ernest's head posture is still kind of broken. I would have personally gone for the triangle, but I don't mind my guys experimenting. Goes to that sweep again. Oh, and this time Ernest sees it coming. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Good adjustment by Ernest.